Hello, welcome back. I am the Watcher. In case you can't tell, I cleaned up a little bit. You see, my secret lair is in a storage facility. And being so, you can't see a lot of this room, but I have a lot of boxes and whatnot in here. Well, I took my coats down I had hanging up. I moved them inside into my closet. Because I really enjoy doing this, and I thought, I want to look more professional. I put up what do they call it? Tragedy and comedy, as illustrated by the Joker. Probably the best two live action performances of the Joker. Personally, Mark Hamill's my favorite Joker. A lot of people look at you weird when you say that if they don't know that he was a voice actor as well. I'm also planning on cleaning up and hanging up some props. Oh, I forgot this. I wanted to wear this today for the video. Alright, yeah, so anyways, I'm going to make some props. I was going to modify a Maverick to look like the gun from Hellboy, which I've come to learn Del Toro named the Good Samaritan in his version of Hellboy, the Ron Perlman movies, which I absolutely love. Been rewatching them, I'm going to get a lot of Hellboy stuff. Probably like a Glove of Doom. I'm also planning on recreating the World War II Captain America helmet, and I think I'm going to make videos at least outlining the steps I did to do those, and post them here as well. But for now, it's a little blank. Well, that was a long intro. So today's book, we're going to be doing Punisher meets Archie. I gotta tell you, this is probably a perfect comic book. I couldn't think, if I had to pick one comic book out of all the comic books I've read to put forward and say, this should be a prime example of what a comic book should be, this is it. This is it right here. It's getting cut off a bit, but I am wearing a Punisher shirt. It is not my alter ego Punisher, so, I won't be heavy on the puns in this episode. I know I just warned you about that. Not really a lot of triggers for this one. I mean, there is some rapacious behavior. It's kind of like PG. It's just like guy trying to steal a kiss. It's not like graphic, but, some people, I understand when you're sensitive to something, you're sensitive to it. So if you don't want to hear about that kind of stuff, come back next week. But really, I'm just trying to be as nice as possible. I don't want to trigger anybody. This channel's not about making people mad. It's about sharing books. So next week, I will be finishing up Red Sun. That's a story with the communist Superman. In my schedule, I switched its place with Team America. So that'll come the week after that. And once I finish Red Sun, I'm planning on replacing the series. I'm going to start reviewing some old Spirit comics. I haven't got to read any of those yet. I got a book that has some collections in it. I got 3 of those, and man, I'm really looking forward to bringing those, even though they might be a little outdated for modern sensitivity. But man, I've eaten up so much of your time, and we got such a great story this week, so let's get to it. Well, welcome to the main segment. I'd like to start off by saying, when I read, I normally put on a little music in the background. Personally, for this issue, last thing I was listening to was a little jazz musician called Cannonball. I really like some free-form music, something with just nice, chill flow, without language to distract. I, of course, am not making money from this channel, so I can't afford the copyright to play music while I do these. It is something I'd like to do in the future if these get more popular. I've been telling myself, put money into it when money comes out of it. But until then, just do what you enjoy. The other thing is, you might notice on my hand, I do have a bandage. I'm not hurt. Again, I'm going through the tattoo removal, and, I didn't want you guys to have to look at a blister. Also, I didn't want to get any fluids on this pristine piece of Americana art. So, one of the first things you'll notice is this is a cutout. It's got this great big open up there with the Archie Punisher meld logo. I mean, that's just hilarious to me. The only criticism of this is it's kind of fragile, especially putting it in and out of the sleeve. And you can see the previous owner, there's some creases and whatnot. Anything that makes a book more fragile. A few other things I'd like to point out is you're going to hear me say this a lot regarding the weapons. I'm going to say words like looks like, kind of reminds me of, because I don't know what their motivation was when drawing guns in here, if they didn't want to make them look too much like the real world gun, or like what the rules were with it, but like this one, it kind of reminds me of a Ruger Mini 14 mixed with a stem gun and like a few other things, and there's just like, why is there a random trigger there, you know? What's this part of the shroud that looks all messed up? I love that he has a scope that he's not using, and he's like crossing out the eye that would be looking down the barrel. And then you look at the shells coming out, and they look pretty small. You know, they look like handgun ammunition, and that's just a huge bore. I mean, that could be the flash, but I feel like that's the straight bore, so it's just like comical things like that. You might remember in my Team America videos, I made fun of some of the mechanics on the motorcycles. Big surprise, the guy that likes old-timey America stuff, likes motorcycles, also likes guns. And you go to the back, and you have that giant Punisher Archie logo. I did find out there's some comics that are a little expensive, and it's called Punisher Arsenal. And the whole thing is just talking about the different weapons he uses, and I would really like to get that after reading this one, because I kind of want to understand their designs behind the guns a bit more. Now, this is a really big book, so this is probably going to be a long video, so let's get to it. So you open it up. Great section there. Now, there's another thing I don't like about these. When you're holding it, you got to be very careful. I always hold my stuff flat. Now, there's not too many ads in here. You start out with this, and there's another one at the end here. And you have this beautiful introduction with these self-done portraits here. And, you know, a lot of times I skip over these things, but I'm going to read this here because I feel like this is kind of important. Introduction. Archie meets the Punisher. It started as a joke. It was an idea that would capture the attention of comic book collectors. An idea that had the potential to send our sales through the roof. The Punisher at Archie Comics, which are Richard Goldwater and Michael Silberlickett? Silberlickett. Yeah, I know I'm not pronouncing that right. I'm sorry, dude. I'm just going to go back. Which Richard Goldwater and Michael liked the big sales part, but hesitated at the storyline. It went something like this. Archie arrives at good old Riverdale High. Security people are installing metal detectors. Kids arrive home. He notices the door has been left open. The house has been ransacked. There's blood everywhere. His parents have been massacred. The police aren't doing much. After all, this happens all the time. Archie enlists the aid of the Punisher. Time to get even. While this does seem to be what's popular, the idea was denied serious consideration. I wonder why. We received the Punishers, Richard and Michael, by pouring Gatorade all over them. I'm told it makes you feel like a winner. However, when I relayed this story to Batten Lash, creator of Wolf and Bird, consular of the Macabre, how I'd love to do something with this, he said, I think I can do it. Let me give it a try. And so, in a dimly lit San Diego restaurant, amidst messy spare rib bones and dirty napkins, Project A was born. Okay, so I guess that was from the Archie side of things. So now let's look over here at what the Marvel side has to say. Introduction, the Punisher meets Archie. You know, when I read these yesterday, I kind of read it as one big letter. I thought it was a joke. Victor Gorlick and I have been joking with each other for over 20 years. He's the guy who gave me my first job in the comic book industry. Remember that? Victor trained me. He taught me everything I know, but sadly, not everything he knows. Write to him and complain the next time you read something in a Marvel comic which annoys you. It'll serve him right for not preparing me better. Jesus Christ, dude. Anyways, the proposal for what we eventually began to call Project A arrived completely without warning. It consisted of a quick note from Victor and a short synopsis and 2 cover sketches. Hearing me laugh out loud and fearing that I had finally flipped, Senior Executive Editor Mark Grunwald stuck his head into my office. While he was laughing at the covers, I read the synopsis. Batten Lash had done the impossible. Effortlessly mixing 2 wildly disparate universes while completely respecting the integrity of each individual character. Wow. And that does prove very true in this story. I immediately rushed the proposal over to Punisher Overlord Don Daly. He loved it. So did publisher Mike Hudson and President Terry Stewart. Later that same day, I called Victor to inform him of Marvel's desire to pursue this project. Our first major crossover with another comic book company in many years. Needless to say, he thought I was joking. So, this makes it seem kind of fun to work in a comic book. They're just a couple of guys joking around, ribbing each other. Like, hey, you got that kind of wholesome comic? What if we shoot his brains out? That'll be great. Oh yeah, I'd love that. So it starts out with an introduction to your main boys here. First, Frank Castle. When Frank Castle witnessed the death of his family at the hands of the criminal syndicate, he vowed that innocent people would never again suffer his wife and children's fates. Using his lethal training as a Marine, Castle wages a private war against those who would break the law, letting the punishment fit the crime. Enter the world of the Punisher. And it goes down here to Archie Boy. Archie has often been described as a typical American teenager, always asking too many questions, always getting into trouble. Intensely loyal to his parents, his school, and his community. Riverdale, USA. Archie's plight in matters of the heart is adolescently stark. He's torn between two opposing love interests, Betty, the girl next door, and Veronica, spoiled daughter of affluence. Inner Riverdale, the world of Archie Andrews, which, I think we need a few more people like Archie. Not enough people take pride in their communities anymore, or try to. And if you don't, then it's on you to make it something to be proud of. And these introductions are funny because they pretty much say them, at least Frank's again, later on in the comic when his part shows up. And as for his little love interest, I always like Betty more myself. I know there's some reboots where he gets with a different one and whatnot, but I always like Betty the most. My favorite has always been Moose. That's why I was wearing the crown today. I'm just joking with you. I know that's Jughead. Yeah, maybe I meant to do that joke earlier and I forgot to put the crown on. So you start off with a puff puff in a pant and this guy running through an alley. There's a screech, there's this fan pulling up. I love how the coloring's done. And he cusses in this way. It's like, oh, and I'm not going to do the dolphin noise from SpongeBob, so I'm just going to say Gad Zoinks. So oh, Gad Zoinks. And his foot steps out while this guy's trying to climb the wall. And he's just puffing and he's grunting. And then, this mysterious figure comes out with what looks like a mix between a MAC-10 and an Uzi. And it goes, ka-chunk. And then blam, 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 blam. And this guy's saying yada, yada, yada while shooting back, I guess. Bang, 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 bang. And, we got another sassafras there. It's like, ba-da-da-da-da. I guess that's the bullets hitting the concrete. And so this guy starts crawling over, and you see it is clearly a boy, Frank Castle. And he leaps that crap, And again, I love how they do the writing. And here, it definitely does look more like the Israeli Uzi. But it's kind of square there. Personally, out of the Uzi, the MAC-10, and the Tech-9, Tech-9 has always been my favorite, but they all kind of suck. I base it really off of which one appeals to me the most. There's definitely better firearm options out there. So he's tracking him. He's going into Union Station. It's this red-haired guy, and he's like, "Hey, watch where you're going." Punisher, war with the czars. He's like, "Where to, buddy?" Let me see. And you got this list of towns: Glendale, Ivytown, Happy Harbor, Riverdale, Sailport, Gotham, Harriston. He's like, "Sir, destination, please." He's like, "Give me a one-way ticket to Riverdale." And he kind of looks like a uglier version of Archie. You know, he's like a kind of like a ventriloquist dummy or chipmunk version of Archie. And you get this introduction, and this kind of reminds me of the Sonic ones that are put out by Archie. They do the same thing, and I even do this when I draw comics, so it's like, I guess that's where I got it from. Archie in Wetworks. And so the very next day, and you got Archie, someone's got him in his sights. He's like, I got you in my sights, punk. You'll never know what hit you. And he's like, freeze, huh? Splash! Glub! And it's this little butthole here. And he's like, Leroy! And he's like, ha! I'm pretty quick on the draw myself, a half pint. And he squirts him with the hose. Then Veronica comes out and he's like, Veronica! And this kid, he's just like, Cousin Ronnie, Archie's picking on me. A little punk is what he is. And I want to point out, they do a lot of this where the word bubbles go through the boxes, but it's always one continuous part of a conversation. I kind of like how they do that, which is not normally something I like. I'm normally the kind of keep it in the box person, but Archie Comics does it really well. So she's pissed because she got drenched and she thinks he's picking on a kid. And she slams the door on him. I guess her nickname is Ronnie, which I don't like that. I hate when a shortened version of a name is nothing like the name. But it could just be a nickname. Maybe it's not that. So Archie's pissed off. I thought I already took a bath renting this ridiculous outfit. Which, don't you dress like that all the time? You rented that? It's like that joke on American Dad where he rented the 1950s get up and it was just a white shirt and blue jeans. So anyways, Archie, who for some reason feels ridiculous in the clothes he always wears that he paid to wear this time, is thinking, you know what, I'm just going to go hit up Betty. So this is when I was like, yeah, Archie's a little bit of a player. They're like, oh yeah, first date didn't go well, just go down the line. You know, there's plenty of women in this town, all two of them. And then this car, he didn't notice this car suspicious coming up, and it's like, Binky, look, it's him. I knew if we drove around we'd find him. Follow, I'm buzzy, but not too close. I wonder what that means. Some sort of slang. Something the street people say. So Veronica's in, I guess it's her house. Her dad calls her over, and he's like, Veronica, there's someone I want you to meet. It's his first time in Riverdale. And she's like, gasp. Beg your pardon. I'm sorry. It's just that you resemble someone I know. That's where the similarity ends, my dear. And I want to point out right now, like, I really love the font and just how big the wording is in these. And some of them, they're a little off slanted, so I think this might have even been done by hand. But just beautiful calligraphy in this one. Anyways, I'd like you to meet Melvin J., the youngest rising entrepreneur in the country. Chairman of the board of Polsky Pharmaceuticals. And he's like, charmed. And he's getting a little too, like, he's like... And she's clearly not into it. And it's like, or should I say newly acquired company. I read it was a hostile takeover. Quite. I must say, you have a lovely daughter. I envy my lookalike if he gets to see her often. And she's just pessimistic about it. She's like, Archie, no thing to envy. And after today's stunt, he's not going to see me anymore. And, you know, it's like I said earlier, I always thought Betty was a better choice, but it's just because she's nice. Like Veronica, you know, she's pretty hot, but, seems kind of like if you got with her, you're gonna have your hands full quite often. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at her. She's thinking right now, how can I mess with this guy? How can I use this guy to mess with this other guy who made me mad because I walked into some water? And her dad's just like, that's enough, Veronica. So Melvin, what can I do for you? And he gives some spiel about how he just wanted to get away from the city. And he's looking to open an office here in Riverdale. And he's like, capital idea. And then Veronica cuts in, I've got an idea too. Even though she wasn't into this guy at all. I mean, look at that shit. There's a 1950s style dance at the school tonight. Everyone will be there. Veronica, you're putting Melvin on the spot here. And he's like, on the contrary, Mr. Lodge, it sounds like fun. So he's like, yeah, I'll be putting her on the spot of my penis. And I want to stop here. 1950s style dance. I thought the whole town was 1950s style. In fact, when I was younger, I thought Archie took place in the 50s. You know, so it's just kind of funny. And he's mad because it was his date. He wants the guy's attention. He's like, I wanted to talk about business. And she makes this face like, me want man, father. But she lays on the daughter charm. Oh, daddykins, you can always do that. But an event like the dance can show Melvin what a cool town Riverdale is. And there's a little shadow on his back as someone sneaks up with a gun. This town isn't big enough for two, Archie, stranger. Enter little brother again. He's like, oh, as he grabs his hat. He's like, beat it, punk. Before I give you a wedgie, you'll never forget. So, you know, again, maybe I'm a little out of touch, but I think that qualifies as sexual assault now. I think just anything involving a child's underwear area and grabbing it. So yeah, I mean, obviously this guy's the villain in this book, but not something to be doing. You're about to see my major weakness, Melvin. The pleasure is all mine, Mr. Lodge. This will be so much fun. It's like, I can't say no to my daughter. And I don't even think she thinks the dance is going to be fun. She's just like, I'm going to mess with Archie so hard. And her dad's like, are you sure you don't mind? You must have a busy schedule. And he's like, I do have an agenda, however. And it's just like, yes, no, I'm sure I'm not too busy to be alone with your hot daughter. And it's just so hard for this guy to wrap his mind around that someone might rather spend time with his attractive young daughter than him. Just a total ditz. Like, God, I'm glad the Archie universe is so pure and beautiful. These people would get just destroyed. So you cut to Frank and his little, his friend, Micro, the hacker guy that's always helping him. And it's Punisher in Riverdale. This is where they bring up that part they did in the beginning again. But on top of that, they're also just talking about Frank, giving an introduction to him. And he's pretty much hunting Freckles there. Funny line here. You want me to treat you to a malt, Frank? Later, Micro. I didn't think places like this still existed. You could say it's an endangered species. So yeah, they're just stalking around. They're trying to find that guy that the Punisher followed here. And it's just kind of sinister. I mean, like, look at him. He's so out of place in this town, dude. But, you know, this picture right here also kind of, like, beautifully sums up the Punisher's, like just his main characterization and his motives. Like, he's trying to protect the world, but at the same time, it's like, it's what's causing him to be so closed off and not be able to be happy again. And it's all just kind of like summed up beautifully in this photo. And that's the thing. Some people, they just think of these as funny books, but now there's some deep shit in here. Let's familiarize ourselves with the town first. So they're just trying to stock out information. He's like, rats. Betty's gone to the hop already. Probably with Reggie. Don't let it get you, Arch. You're lucky you ran into me. I'll gladly help you drown your sorrows. Pop another round. He's like, sure, after you square up your tab with me, Jughead. In the meantime, I've got paying customers to take care of. So you have these two guys who are just, like, obviously up to something. Let's move in. Yeah, he's beginning to hook up with his associates. So they think Archie is that guy from earlier, and they're surrounding him. Okay, Red, come with us. We're going downtown. And he's like, what is this about? And they have those weird little Z question marks I hate. He's like, federal matter. Need him for questioning. Don't tell anyone you saw us, or we'll have this place audited. And he's like, yes, sir. He's like, oh, wait a minute. So they're giving a spiel. They're pretty much abducting these children out of this malt shop. if you're going that way, can you give me a lift home? He's like, Jug, this is a matter of national security. These guys are just oblivious. He's like, what do you think, Binky? They setting us up? Better take 'em too. I don't trust that laid-back act. Okay, wise guy, come on. We'll give you a ride. Nice outfit, Red. Thanks, it cost a fortune to rent. And the name is Archie. Geez, couldn't you come up with anything better than that? And then, you know, there's Frank off screen. He's like, your sweet tooth's paying off, Micro. And they see these guys. They're all hidden around the corner. And he says, even if we didn't come this way, Red would have stuck out like a beacon with that orange. Wait, those two goons are a member of a rival gang. Show yourself, we'll have dead fever. What do you suggest? What else? It's like, follow that car. Ronnie, Archie, you made it. Hey, Andrews, what's with the buck teeth? Only had $1 when you went to the dentist? And Veronica's just like apologizing for him. Oh, please don't mind the riffraff. So they think it's Archie. She's like, Elizabeth Reginald, this, I'll have you know, is Archie done right. His name is Mel J, and he's my escort tonight. Oh, just look at that. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get some. He's like, yeesh, as if one Archie wasn't bad enough. And she's just like, Elizabeth Reginald. And Betty throws in, Mel's very big in the pharmaceutical business. Really, let me tell you how I bought an A in chemistry class last semester. Touch me again and you'll lose that arm. Sheesh, at least when Archie's hostile. I know he doesn't mean it. Well, Archie was Ronnie's date tonight. I wonder what happened to him. And you get back to the car. You got these two guys. It's like, Blinky, we got trouble. We're being tailed. Archie's like, tailed? What, enemy agents? You guys can drop me off now. I can take a bus for the rest of the way. He's like, shut up, you two. Buzzy, can you see who it is? He's like, Godzooks, it's the Punisher. I love this picture right here. And they're like, the Punisher, duck. And then, brrr, he's like, Bink, something's up. He flashed his gun long enough for us to duck. That was a warning shot. And Archie's like, what a guy. And this is I mean, I know later Archie, like, you get like that Sabrina Netflix crap. Which, by the way, that Archie and Sonic all tie in together. But, like, the comics get pretty out there. You even have, like, that Archie werewolf series. But I'm not really aware of any other instance Archie gets kidnapped by gangsters and shot at. And I just love his reaction here. It's beautiful. It's like, he wants Red. He's like, me? And Jughead's like, thank you, Mom and Dad. And he's like, we can't let that happen, Buzzy. Shoot. And then the van rams him. Wham! It's like, Arch, jump. Buzzy, get sick later. Shoot him now. Archie's like, I will if you let go of my hand, Jug. And that guy's like, ugh! And then they crash. And Archie's just on the ground and he's dazed. He's like, oh man, Jughead, are you okay? And Frank's standing over him. He's like, I finally caught up with you. I don't believe we've met. I'm definitely, you know, this is just great. Standing over Archie, about to blow his brains out. And Archie's just cool as a cucumber, you know, given. And you cut back to Josie and the Pussycats here. And Ronnie, he's over the party scene. He's just trying to bang Veronica. He's like, very quaint, Ronnie. Maybe you can show me a more intimate part of town? Your panties, perhaps? And she's like, oh, well, we just got here. Besides, we haven't had a chance to dance. And he's like, Ronnie, this is all beneath you. Let me show you what a good time is. Yeah, this guy's a creep, but at the same time, like, kind of, I don't know, it's just a bad situation all around. This guy's just making a comment about unlocking the back door, probably come into play later for the caterers. Yeah, Mr. Peterby. What time do you expect the dance to end? I guess that's supposed to be an accent. 10 p.m. if things are swinging. I may let it go to 10:15. You're a party animal, all right. Yes, I guess I am, Mr. Svensson. Tisk. Where's that Wilkin boy necking again? Break that up. Let's go, love. You got this guy, he's like trying to rush Betty on the phone. He's British, apparently, for some reason. And Veronica's trying to get this guy off her. She's like, I can show you more of the town later. Or tomorrow, even. We can do brunch. Ronnie, you don't want to see them. Why, you called them riffraff. I'll let you in on a little secret. And he starts getting, like, sinister. He's like, I'm going to own this town before you know it. Get in on the ground floor with me. And she's like, would you settle for the dance floor? She's very uncomfortable here. And it's like those guys that, like, they get a girl to talk to them, just start saying, like, violent, weird things because they've never had anyone emotionally open up to. And Betty's on the phone with Archie's mom. What's that, Mrs. Andrews? Archie left for the dance a while ago? Thanks, sure. I'll have him call as soon as he shows. Bye. And this guy's like, about time. Which, he's just a little dick cheese. He's like, Ernie, it's Scooter. I've got a hot tip for you. I know it'll be worth its weight in gold. Archie Andrews, where are you? Maybe he met somebody new. And the chick on stage, Josie's just like, are you ready? We've got a surprise guest coming up. His first time in Riverdale. You won't believe your eyes. And, you know, this is why I thought, like, she was a good one. Like, look, she's generally concerned about him. Normally, he's just trying to piss him off. You cut back to Archie and Punisher looking each other's eyes. And I always want to point out here how beautifully they've melded the two styles. And it works together. I mean, he sees Punisher in his eyes. Punisher's looking in his eyes. They're drawn different, but it works. It's cohesive. So often there's cartoon crossovers that just, they don't work because the animation does not match up. Disney did a lot of them. Like, they did one for American Dragon Jake Long and Lilo and Stitch. And that one just looked like crap. I think they also did a Proud Family in Lilo and Stitch. And that one looked a bit better, but just, they don't always work for certain reasons. Hanna-Barbera did a lot of crossovers, and his worked, but it's because he had a cohesive style. So it's like a Marvel doing a crossover, like, oh yeah, Spider-Man and X-Men, of course it's going to match up. They're made by the same company. But this is two different companies doing a matchup, and I mean, I don't think they could have done better. So Punisher, he's got the gun in his face, and he's like, he's thinking, what have I done to deserve this? I guess you could have been a little nicer to Betty. You don't necessarily deserve to die for that, but he's like, this is definitely not Jughead. And Frank's just thinking, it's like, this is definitely not the guy I'm looking for. It's like, I'll let Micro figure it out. And he's like, phew. He's releasing his grip. Maybe I can reason with him. Although he doesn't look very reasonable. And you hear a clunk, and he just starts shooting. He's like, down. Oh no, he must be going after Jughead. He's like, Hitman obviously made the same mistake. Regarding my quarry, they made a bigger mistake trying to ambush me. He's just like, tucka, 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 tucka. And Archie's like, shit, I'm going to run away. Which, good move, Arch. Good move. So Frank, he's just letting it out. And I love the coloring on this panel. Just, when everything's dark and he's all lit up, like, dude. And especially here, like how they, like Archie's like in the background, but he's not, you know? And I know he's in the foreground, but it's just the focus because of the colors they use. That shit's great. And Jughead's in the tunnel, and he's like, psst, Arch, over here. He's like, Jug? So they're running through the tunnel. I ducked in the pipe when I bailed out of the car. I tossed a rock to divert Laughing Boy. Which, a very good idea, Jughead, you know, proven to be pretty smart in this type of situation. He's like, don't think I'm ungrateful, but tell me the details after we put some distance between us and that psychopath. Bugsy, the Punisher, but who's he shooting at? He's like, does he even need a reason? Red split. Let's do the same. This heap can still move. And, Micro's there at the van. He's like, Frank, got news for you. Mel J just got away. And the two after him just lammed out of here. I never heard that slang term before. I guess it means to take off. I'm going to Urban Dictionary it and put that on the screen right now. Frank's like, and I've got news for you. That wasn't Jay. Don't waste any more time. Let's get those hitmen. I want those two out of Riverdale. He's like, Frank, I have an idea. But it involves a high concept. Letting them live. He's like, we gotta warn the others. It's urgent we terminate Red ASAP. So there's others. And Archie and Jughead are still running through the tunnel. And Jughead's saying, it looks tough now, Arch, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, no, there really is a light at the end of the tunnel. That means we can get out and go straight to the police. And he's like, easy for you to be optimistic, Jug. It's me that Manic's after. So you don't realize that Frank isn't after him, which Frank doesn't really take time to explain himself, so. And I love how this could be a metaphor also for them being dead. It's like, you're right, we'll tell everything that happened to the cops. So they're there, and the cop is just being dismissive of them. He's like, but Sergeant Patsky, you've got to believe me. The Punisher is gunning for me. I've been running for my life. Jughead's like, me too. I could be the innocent bystander you always hear about. And he's like, look, Archie, we're very busy. I heard there's a dance at Riverdale High tonight. You should go. The Punisher would never think of looking for you there. He's like, I need police protection. Why won't you take me seriously? And he's just bringing up a bunch of shit. He's like, why won't you take me seriously? Archie, I'm not a cat burglar. I was going through the window because I lost my keys. Sorry, Dad. He's like, they aren't Martians. They're filming a movie. Oops. Archie, this isn't a spy. This is an undercover cop, and you just blew his cover. My mistake. And I wonder if these are actually Archie episodes. If so, I would really like to read them. I hope the story's that aware and self-referencing. He's like, get out or I'll call your parents. He's like, no, don't. I don't want to put them in danger. He's like, sigh. I tell you what, Archie. I'm going to get Officer Berlin to help you out. And they're sitting there doing like this wink okay thing, which, I would think the kids were fucking with me if they did that. So then you cut to these guys, these other gangsters, and I guess they're just having a smoke. It's kind of funny. They got the windows rolled up, and he's like, alright, Andy, what's up? The Punisher's here in Riverdale. Good news is he's not after us. I wonder if these guys are like here in Riverdale. It makes it sound like they're common characters in Riverdale. Again, I'm not that like. This is my first Archie comic, so I wonder. It'd be funny if they have a criminal element of smokers in the town that kind of look like Larry, Curly, and Moe. He's like, bad news is he's after Red Fever. Hey, that's good news. Since we're here to rack Red, let the Punisher do the job for us and let him take the rap. I wish it was that easy, Andy. And look, there's the Punisher right there. See how a little restraint can benefit Frank? Oh, they got some stuff. They're listening to him. If you'd blown these guys away earlier, they'd never have led us to the other hitmen. And you can hear more of the radio. We're supposed to whack Red so the feds don't get info out of him. But what if the Punisher's working with the feds to bring Red in? We gotta get Red first. We'll make sure the Punisher finds his body. Then we can set up shop in Riverdale. Frank, he's like, I'm not having that shit. This place is too pure and beautiful. He's like, I got a tip from Scooter. Says he saw Red at the dance at the high school gym. What are we waiting for? Let's go. I've got a location on the high school. And there's a little rip rap on the window. While they're like, alright, let's go get these guys. And Micro's like, yes, officer. License and registration, please. Run a check on a vehicle. New York license plate number. And he's like, what's this all about, officer? And he's like, you're parked illegally in a private driveway. Please step out of the vehicle. There's some little weaselly guy looking at him through the window. About time those cops responded. He's like, what do you have in the back of? And then clop, boom, just a fist comes out into his face. He's like, okay, freeze. He's like, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or... I love this panel here, too. It's just like zero shits given. And then clop. I love how it's like off camera. It's like comical. And they look over and they see that guy who called and he's like, zip. That was Riverdale's finest, Frank. Then they're going to need all the help they can get. Let's move it. And he didn't kill him. He just left him kind of comically knocked out there. You guys knock him dead. But, we didn't want to ride. We wanted protection. This isn't fair. I'll say I wasn't even planning on coming tonight. Just following Sarge's orders. Have fun. He just makes him go to the dance. Kevin Burns like, why don't you have a date? You should be at the dance. And he's like, you know, Jug, I'm too angry to be scared anymore. I have to take the bull by the tail end. And then someone touches him. There you are. Yep! And he jumps in Jughead's arms. Arch, what is it? What's wrong? Is my hair out of place? Reggie, you would not believe what I've been through. Yeah, Arch, can you get down before telling him? Then Betty runs in. Archie, you made it. Chief, I just came out for some air. Not to hear your problems. He's like, I'm warning you both. I'm dangerous to be around. He's like, who are you, James Dean? Oh, Archie, if you're going to do Rebel Without a Cause, at least dress the part. Attitude, Andrews. Take it from me. Arrogance goes a long way. And Betty's just like, I know your ego's bruised because Ronnie brought the other date to the dance. You need a little sympathy. Will someone please listen to me? There's sympathy. Listen to him. It's like, you don't have to put on an act for us, Archie. Ronnie's date may look like you, but you're cuter. It's like, wait a minute. And he's richer. It's like, Ronnie's with someone who looks like me? Jug, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, we've got to warn that guy in case the Punisher goes after him, thinking he's you. He's like, let me try that again. And again, I love the freaking coloring here. Just boom, dude. Beautiful. I love this so much. This is such a visual treat. How about the Punisher has mistaken you for him? You got it, pal. The Punisher? Doesn't Moose talk about him all the time? It's like, and this guy's just like, I'm out of here. Oh, no, you're not. We've got to warn Veronica. Everyone in the building may be in danger. So Frank, he's doing his little monologue, his war journal things. He's like, I expect stuff to get serious if the quarry knows I'm after him. Just being like an edgelord. I can't remember the last time I was in a school with no bars on the windows. Dilapidated classrooms. However, I did notice Riverdale was not without its share of graffiti. And there's a little BC plus AA. And the little sign, it's your job to keep Riverdale clean. Okay, so Frank, he's like, resume mission with all speed. And I love how this party scene is drawn. Like, it looks crowded, you know, but detail's not lost. They got the main cast up front. They got the band up there. You can see it all. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to our special guest tonight. His first time in Riverdale, one of the top crooners of the 50s. Mr. Dino Manuel. Oh, this is so wonderful, Patsy. These two girls talking about their dresses. Just a lot of background, like, conversation. Which muddies up what they're trying to do. And she's just like, Mel, please, get your freaking hands off me. He's like, yeah, I'm getting some shoulder. He's like, you may look like someone I know, but you're getting too familiar with me. Can't help it, darling. It's like, you're a little too cozy there, Andrews. He's like, blow, gas bag. Andrews? What's got into you? And it's like, Mr. Weatherby, It's not what you or who you think. Babe, I'll show you how to party. And I like that he's going around stopping kids from making contact, but you have this student he knows who's clearly being sexually assaulted and just lets her get taken away by the guy that's doing it when it's not, oh, you're not a student at my school? Go on molesting a student at my school, then that's fine. He's like, that kid's a menace. What's holding things up? You should be serving the food by now. He's like, yes, sir. Coming right now. And you see the real caterers are tied up in the back. The goons are putting their clothes on. It's like, seeing all you kids reminds me of an old army buddy. I miss a lot of... And someone comes up to Frank, excuse me, and it's Archie's parents. She's like, Flutston here. You must be the new phys ed teacher. Kelt's hired up. He said you'd be here. Just putting in my time chaperoning. He just goes with it. He's like, good team spirit. I recognize you from the coach's description. He spoke very highly of you. Oh, Miss Grundy, I want you to meet the new member of the faculty, Mr. Castelloni. But you can call me Frank. Well, I'm going to love you here. I mean, you're going to love it here. I already do. Excuse me, I have to keep my eyes on things. Yowza. Oh, Grundy, get a grip on yourself. Grundy Flute Snoot? There you are. Oh, it's Grundy Flute Snoot. I think that's Archie's teacher. It's not his parents. And it's like, oh, I want you to meet the phys ed teacher. Yo, I'd ask you to dance, but it throws my back out. He looks kind of drunk. He's like, something is wrong here, coach. I'll say, fire this guy. He's like, don't tell me you're afraid to be alone with me. And she's like, look, I'm beginning to be afraid of you in a crowd. Touch me again, and I'll fix your teeth. And then he sees the Punisher. He's like, discussion's over. We're leaving. He pulls out the gun immediately. And he's like, Che, I imagine having to pay again to get in. And he's like, bureaucrats. I guess that's how he curses. He says most of cheese. Che. Oh, Archie. He wasted so much time trying to get in. I don't see Ronnie. Dilton, have you seen Veronica? Oh, yeah, she's with your doppelganger. Now, by the way, I'd like to stop and talk right now because, I know a lot of YouTubers will censor words like gun, murder, curse words, just anything because of demonetization. That annoys me so much. Like, particularly people who want to talk about murder cases or kidnapping or that kind of thing. Or they want to talk about crimes committed against children, but they can't even say the words associated with it. And I used to think YouTube's really restrictive, but it's not. It's only if you're trying to be ad-friendly. I'm clearly not going to do that, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to say the full words. If you're big enough to read the story, you're big enough to hear words like gun and murder. And Archie finally sees him. That big guy, it's the Punisher. Now that's rugged. Oh man, she's all turned on by him. He don't look so tough. And Jughead's like, you're just a freaking idiot, dude. It's like, Jug, Betty, tell the bee what's happening. Use a different name this time, Archie. I'm gonna call the cops. I'll check under the bleachers to see if there's any trouble there. He's just gonna go run and hide. He's like, there he is. I have no idea what that word is supposed to be. Algili serve him real good. He's like, I'm gonna serve him real good. That's what I imagine. There he is. I'll serve him real good. Some sort of a guttural New York utterance, I think, is what they're trying to put there. He's like, you're gonna eat lead, punk. He's just oblivious that he's pulling that gun out. Frank, he's got an eye on it, though. And he's like, 911, send some cops to Riverdale High right away. Yeah, but officer... Yeah, they're ignoring him. Cops in this town. And Frank, he's just like, wham! And it's like, of course it's an emergency. And then he starts shooting. He's like, the Punisher! Here, hold this. He actually tries to not just throw the tray down. The bullets are tinking off. They do a little explanation here, and it's like, interesting that gunmen must be wearing Kevlar armor. Thin, flexible, yet protects them from an onslaught of bullets. I knew there was something fishy about this guy. He's a hitman. Then why do all the caterers have guns? Oh my goodness. And that's not really how Kevlar works. You know, anyone with a vest, it's they're not the most flexible things. I wish it was just like putting on a jacket. That'd be awesome. I mean, it's way better than old-fashioned armor, but come on. He's like, Frank, behind you. Whoa, boom. He's like, you won't get away with this, creep. Hey, if I had a dime for every time I heard that, I wouldn't have to hold you for ransom. And it's like, I'm going to do you a favor, Red. Oh, it's freaking Micro. He's like, while my pal, the Punisher, deals with your compatriots, I'll make sure not a freckle is harmed on your head. Now, let the young lady go. He's like, yes, and someone just slugs him out of nowhere. Just boom, blindsides him. And he's like, lucky I was here to stop this guy, Arch. The Punisher can't be in two places at once. Hey, you're not Arch. And he's like, well, duh. And she's just like, thanks, Moose. And I love Moose. I also love that he's wearing a I like Ike button. And just boom, like he's not been in the store and just comes out of nowhere to blindside Micro. Just boom, drops him. Catches him too. It's kind of sweet of him. He's just like, oh, wait a minute. You're trying to help though. It's not his fault. Like, everyone's seen him and thought it was Archie. Like, he's not stupid. Cripes. The Punisher took all my guys out. If you want something done, you gotta do it yourself. Look, guy, I'm not who you think I am. He's like, move it, kid. It's like, anything you say, hoof. It's like, kid, get out of the what? And then the coach tries to tackle him. He's like, the Celts cut. I'm down from behind, just like he used to do in the field at, and he's like, Notre Dame. And he just swoops him. He's like, that's not gonna work, dude. So this guy, he's got a knife on Arch, and he's like, get back. I know you want this punk alive. Cut a deal or I'll cut red. And he's like, I think you're confusing me with someone else. And I just love how, like, collected Archie is through all of this. He's like, shut up. Hey, now that I see you up close, you're not ready. He's like, well, duh. And Frank, you know, he's eyeballing this, and he's like, well, when in Riverdale, and just boom, cake to the face. Punisher, would you want a deal? Piece of cake. I guess the Punisher is the Punisher. I'm not going to hurt you. Best news I've heard all day. You're looking for my double, aren't you? Correct. And more importantly, I'm here to see no harm comes to Riverdale. And you have these people, they're freaking out, and they're mad because they haven't been able to get the phone lines through to the police, and they had to come down there to talk to them. I guess the feds kind of got the town, like, blocked off because they got the Punisher and they're trying to get this guy. And this guy's like, it's all right, we got it handled. We're trying to take care of the Punisher. He's just lucky my fine policemen weren't there, or they'd have to kick his ass. And they're like, yeah, we're the shit. We could take him. You know, we'll kick his ass. And then Veronica's dad just like, I don't want anything to happen to the Punisher, you idiot. I want to pay him to go after the man who kidnapped my daughter. And he's just like, this is going to be a long night. Yeah, you should do your job. I mean, I know, like, your town is, like, peaceful as hell, but Jesus Christ. They're explaining how he's working with the feds this time. And Jughead's looking, he's like, another burger, Pop. Never did get a chance to eat tonight. Which, you know, I'm down with that. So Archie, then he starts doing his own monologue. He's like, I guess he's trying to be Punisher. He's like, the criminal element has infected my town. Rodney's been kidnapped. It's payback time. The war never ends. One-on-one. It's clobbering time. And then it's like, Archie, huh? Archie Andrews, will you pay attention? We've been listening to the tape of the kidnapper, and you're daydreaming. I was just being intense. So he's trying to be a little Punisher. That's great. He's like, here's your little princess. Tell you I'm dead serious. Oh, Daddy, he's rained on my parade. Listen to him. He's not full of hot air. He means it. That's all for now. Lodge, have that money ready by the time I call again. Click. It's like, that's odd. Why would Ronnie use an awkward expression like, not full of hot air? All those years in school paying off, huh, kid? It's like, quiet, Micro. Like, don't you know a clue when you hear one? So Betty gets it. Hot air, sure. I was just there with Ronnie setting up for the 4th of July parade. And that part of the town is deserted at this hour. We're new in town, kid. Tell us where it is. This guy comes out. Mr. Punisher, you've got a phone call. Probably the feds. To give me grief. Yeah, what is that? That's a whole new ball game. Again, love how this is drawn. Love how this is laid out. So, it's going to be a long night, darling. The longer I have to look for you, the angrier I'm going to get. This is what I get for being a nice guy, eh? Eh, baby doll? I don't tie you up, and the first chance you get, you book out on me? Dumb, sweetheart, real dumb. I know you're in here somewhere. Make it easy on yourself, Veronica. I hear you breathing, Cupcake, and I just found the light. Let's go, honey. No one's gonna rescue. Turns the light on, and I want to point out these balloons. You got Spider-Man, you got Sonic, which was one of Archie's biggest comics at the time. But you also have a few other Archie characters here. Hot Dog and the Shield, which a lot of people think the Shield was just a superhero in Archie, but it was apparently its own superhero before Archie. I believe the channel Comic Tropes has a really good episode on Captain America clones, and he was one of them. Although I think the Shield might be one of the ones that predated Captain America. I'll put the release dates up here. But yeah, very interesting how he was the headliner for the comics. Do a background one. Back when it was Pep Comics or something like that. He's like, what's wrong with me? It's only hot air. Hot air? Why, you little brat, you tipped them off. You knew where we were. He's just now figuring out. If it's one thing I can't tolerate, it's someone who's two-faced. She's like, youch, look who's talking. It's over, Mel. Or Red. Or whatever your name is today. Let the girl go. No way, not unless you're Hiram Lodge's courier. He's pointing his gun at him. He's like, you don't scare me, Punisher. I'm too valuable to shoot. And he's like, wrong, Red. I got a call from the feds. Guess who was at the dance tonight? Working with the band. A lowlife named Scooter. The shootout scared him. Turned himself in. He's ready to sing. He knew everybody and was loyal to nobody. Knows where all the bodies are buried. And Scooter's willing to give the feds anything, as long as they cut a deal. So you're not the most valuable player anymore. You're expendable. He's like, hey, you're lying. It's like, Ronnie, don't panic. Frank, I couldn't hold them back. Ronnie, you're friends. Most of the time anyways. He's just like, what the? And he tries firing. He's like, bam, bam. Tass, kids these days, blam. Archie, he ducks out of the way and he's like, yikes. Ba-ying. He's like, everyone down. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. He's like, blam. And Veronica, just look at her. Look at that look on her face. I mean, you know, she's kind of a handful, but she's a smart girl. Look at her kicking his legs and shit, just scheming. He's like, the Punisher's gone soft. Those are warning shots. Move. Oof. She's like, if there's one thing I hate, it's a pushy guy. She kicks him in the legs. And the thing's like, pew, 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 psh, and it hits Hot Dog. And he's flapping. Oh, it got the Punisher. He's like, gazooks. Bonk. It didn't really stop him very long. He's like, "You'll never know what hit you, sweetheart." And then Archie just crashes this cart into him. His hair pops off because I guess he's got a wig on. "Oh, Arch, are you alright? Don't worry, Ronnie. I'll rescue you." Which, I love that his wig is red. It's like so people will call him Red. He's like, no one will know I'm bald if they all call me Red. He's like, I don't know who's more dangerous, the Punisher or these crazy teenagers. Which, that line right there, these crazy teenagers. So he's definitely an adult. A teenager doesn't call their teenagers like that. So this man took this girl to her school and kidnapped her and was trying to sexually assault her. And everyone's just like, yeah, this is fine. I mean, I guess he looks like a kid, but just Jesus, dude, just you fucking creep. Doesn't matter. They are at the end of their whoa, and he gets rolled up. He's like, help, I'm afraid of heights. And he's like, I heard of putting on airs, but sheesh. And yeah, he's attached to the shield balloon. And he's like, what are you waiting for? Punisher, do something. I can't breathe. Pigeons. I hate pigeons. And as he's freaking out, the Punisher's thinking, War Journal. Entry 06794. Conclusion. Let Quarry slip away. First time for everything, I suppose. I did promise Uncle Sam I'd let the Quarry live. They want him, they can get him. I can hear the choppers now. And if the Quarry escapes, what can he do? His empire is ruined. The other mobs are after him. And best of all, he'll live in fear of me. It's like, psychological warfare for this time? Why not? Everything else about this case was unpredicted in my war journal. Alright, what's our next case, Frank? Betty's diary. There was never anything like it in the history of Riverdale, the day the Punisher came to town. It's like, just about the whole town stayed up all night to see if Ronnie was okay and to catch a glimpse of Frank. He told me to call him Frank. We all celebrated with an early morning breakfast at Pop's. That's the funny thing. I got the feeling Frank didn't really want to leave. My dad says Frank's a psychopath. Okay, maybe he is a tad hostile. But if the Punisher's the bad guy people say he is, he'd never have put up with Archie all night. And Archie's like, you give me a signal watch, see? That way, I can call you whenever there's trouble. And he's like, I don't think so. It's been real, Arch. But now I've got a very special lady to thank. And he's like, your warning saved my life last night. And it's that snooty lady that's his teacher. It's like, no problem. As the kids would say, here, I wanted you to have this. Something to remember Riverdale by. And he gives her a little smooch on the forehead. Thank you, but I doubt I'll ever forget. And then Jughead, and he's a true champ here. You guys have a long way to go. Take it from me. You can never have enough burgers along for the trip. He's like, Juggy, I like the way you think, which I do too. Frank's getting in the suit. He's like, Frank, it's you. You got a problem with it, Micro? Me? Nah. Buckle up. We're on our way to a real feel-good town. Next stop, Gotham City. He's like, oh, and that got me excited. I went to look that up. I couldn't find it. It's like, sigh, Riverdale will never see his likes again. I'm kind of grim and gritty myself. Then go take a bath. It's like, oh, thanks heaven. But when I think of all the circumstances that brought Frank to Riverdale, it was either the most incredible coincidence in history, or maybe, just maybe, it really is a small world. And you hear, this is who I'm supposed to be afraid of? Cerebro says you're the most dangerous mutant alive. If that's the case, I'm going to have to find out what you're made of, bub. Some claws ripped through it. It's like, shh, shh. The end. You tell us. And I mean that Punisher Gotham, that got me excited. But I saw that and I'm like, dude, is that Wolverine? I immediately looked up Wolverine, Archie, I couldn't find it. Very disappointing. And then you get to the back where there's the first real ad. Just some lovely sketches here. And that is the majesty of the Punisher meets Archie. I feel like I need to think of a better intro for that. So let's sum it up. You know, this book, once again, I absolutely love it. It is probably my favorite thing I've ever read. Not just comic books, but anything I've read in my life. You know, I mean, there's a few books. Prince of Mars is one that comes to mind. But, I mean, really, it's not close to that. I absolutely am in love with this book. Makes me want more Punisher and Archie. And again, I was a little disappointed that teaser for We're Going to Gotham. I mean, they teased that in the beginning and the end. I didn't really look for that one, but at the end with the Wolverine claws and Jughead, and it's like, I wish they would have made that Wolverine Jughead episode. You know, I Googled that, just nothing came up. Nothing. Then again, I didn't look very hard, so maybe if I go back and look at it, I can find something. Because, oh man, if it's like this... I mean, of course, if you can't tell, I love that old-time, corny America, and I love the Punisher, so it's like the two of them mixed. It was beautiful. Like, the self-aware humor of it, especially, it was so perfectly done. Like, they melded the two universes perfectly. I really appreciated there not being ads till the end, and then it was still just the normal Archie ad, like, get more of our books. The printing quality was amazing. The wording, I was surprised. Like, I seen a lot how it was similar to Sonic, like with the arrangement of the title and whatnot, but the font seemed different, and honestly, the print quality in the Archie seemed a little bit better. Then again, this issue might have just been a little bit better because it was a special issue. I think, for now on the show, like, if Scarface was the worst thing I've read so far, then this is the top. So, like, everything, you gotta be better or worse than that. Which brings me to my next point, power scaling. Could the Punisher beat Captain Planet? And I think no. Now, could the Punisher somehow get in a situation where he takes out the Planeteers and he makes it so Captain Planet couldn't come forward? Yes, he could. But that's not what the question is. So we have to assume that Captain Planet is there. He's ready to fight. You're one guy with a gun. I'm pretty sure bullets don't even hurt him. I think he's made out like some crystal or something. Either way, I don't think bullets can hurt a supernatural being made by Gaia to teach kids about recycling. Archie, of course, I don't think Archie could defeat Captain Planet. He'd probably help him. He'd probably have like an Arbor Day issue where he went and planted trees in the park and then got distracted and went and hit on some girl even though he was already there with some other girl. Because Archie's a little bit of a player, and not in the good way. Well, as you can see, not that many final thoughts for this one. Honestly got most of them out in the book. Also, this thing's a little tight and it's making it hard to think. I really hope to see you back here next week, even though it's going to be hard to top this episode. Again, we'll be finishing up Red Sun. Will be the first series that I finished on the channel, which will be nice. You know, a nice little completed playlist for people to watch through. You know, I'm really loving making these videos, and hopefully there will be more and more playlists for people to just put on and zone out to in just the short future. But until then, stay safe, and remember, if the Punisher shows up in your hometown looking for you, there's probably some doppelganger walking around pretending to be you.